everybody. Welcome to the world's greatest Bronze Age comic book podcast, Flea Market Fantasy. I'm your co-host, Mike L, and as always, I'm joined by...
Michael Dell of the LCS Hockey Radio Show.
That's right, and once again, it's a wild card. My pick again, and I decided to go with another character guide to a certain company, but this time, instead of DC, I went with Marvel. We're going with Official Handbook of the Marvel Universe Deluxe Edition, number 12.
Yeah, the better company. And what year is this? This is like 86?
This would be 86, yes.
Yeah. Now, we talked about some of this when we did the DC one, the Who's Who.
Yep.
The Who's Who of Who's That? DC Comics. No one knows who those bums are.
Yeah.
But the Official Handbook of the Marvel Universe, like we mentioned then, Mike L., this is Jim Shooter's idea.
That he got from DC at a party.
Not true at all. That is not true at all. He had the idea because he was inspired by baseball cards. He said it'd be good if we had a little thing like that with statistics and little things about characters. And then Mark Grunwald was the big editor behind it, right? He appointed Mark Grunwald there because Mark Grunwald was always in charge of like continuity and everything, right?
Right. Yeah, obsessed. Yep.
So this first came out in 1982. Although issue 1 had a cover dated January, so I guess you know how that works with the.
Sure.
So I guess it technically came out in '82, and the first volume of this lasted 15 issues, and they did 12 issues about living characters, and then 2 issues of dead characters,
right,
and then 1 issue of weapons and vehicles and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's interesting. So then they did, that ran from 82 to 84, and then in this 85 to 87, I believe, right? They ran this second volume.
Right.
And it was 20 issues. And I think the first one was like 34 pages each. This one is 64 pages.
Yes.
That's a lot of entertainment, 64 pages. And this was 20 issues, and again, they did a couple issues of the Dead there at the end.
Right.
They had 3 books of the Dead. Yeah. It's a lot of dead people.
And I'm sure they're all back by now.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. They had 5 books of dead people.
Okay.
Yeah, how about that? 5 books of the Dead. And then there's an update in 1989, and that was 8 issues.
Got that one.
Like some of the people covered in that were the Marauders. How about that? Because they made their debut right around that time.
Yep.
Big fan of the Marauders. And then there have been reprints over the years and other kind of stuff. But, this was Shooter's idea because he was tired of readers writing in with dopey questions.
Sure, okay.
About, hey, how does this power work? Or why do they do this? So he says, hey, let's just print out the history. It'll be one, standard handbook we can always reference.
Right.
Oh, did you have some? I thought you were going to say something there, Michael. Did you have another point to mention?
I think I was going to mention that there were a couple throwbacks, like years later, like in the 2000s. There was definitely like the Marvel Universe of the 70s, the Marvel Universe of the 80s, and there'd be like usually 1 issue. And it'd be kind of like a throwback to these. Or there was also over the years other ones, but I don't remember. I tried to pick up the more retro looking ones, but there's also the loose leaf ones, which we talked about in the Who's Who episode. The Marvel Universe, I think it was called Master Edition. And every entry was just 3 shots of the characters. Straight on, sideways, and maybe the other side? I don't remember. But the only thing I didn't like about that was the art was all by 1 person. I don't remember if it was Keith Pollard or Joseph Rubinstein, but I think
it was Keith Pollard. Joseph Rubinstein is the inker for all these.
Okay.
But
Keith Pollard,
Grunwald won 1 inker to try and keep everything... because he thought Rubinstein could like subdue his style enough to not override everything. But the artist most closely associated with most of these characters drew their profile in this book.
Right, so, which is good.
Yes. But that one you're talking about later on, I believe it was Keith Pollard that did all the art.
And he's a good artist, but I would prefer to have more variety in the art, just like in here.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, when they did Elektra and Bullseye, Frank Miller.
Right.
He draws the things, so, yeah. Also, the original name for it was going to be the Marvel Super Specifications Handbook.
Ooh.
Yeah. Shooter didn't like the word super. He wasn't a fan of that. And also specifications was a bit long and for covers and everything. So they scrapped that. And then they chose Marvel Universe. That was actually the original title for Al Milgram's Marvel Fanfare.
Really? Okay.
So they took that for this instead. And when did Marvel Fanfare come out? Did they rip the title away from Milgram and say, hey, you gotta call it something else?
Around the same time, definitely 82-ish.
Yeah, I'm looking that up now. Yeah, 82, March of 82. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it looks like Fanfare would have come out a few months before this, so I guess it must have been a leftover title they had for that. And, so that's about it. I think everyone understands what we're dealing with here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, one little joke here, Michael. They count the official handbook of Marvel Universe. They just refer to it as its initials,
Sure.
And that's OHOTMU, OHOTMU.
Okay.
So in whenever they did a story featuring the Watcher,
sure,
they called him OHOTMU instead of his normal.
Instead of Uatu?
Yeah, instead of Uatu. So in What The he was
really?
OHOTMU.
Interesting.
In reference to the Marvel handbook. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So there you go. All right, so this issue, Michael, you picked issue 12.
Yes.
And why don't you tell the kids why you picked this issue?
Well, the reason I picked it is because this is the one that I bought off the stands as a kid. And I'll have you guess why I bought this particular issue.
Because SpiderMan is right there in the front.
You got it. That right.
And he's in his black and white costume.
Yes. And it's funny because the way that my buying habits were as a kid, and I'm sure you were like this, is I would buy one issue of Avengers and then not buy any other issues for 2 years, and then buy a random issue of Daredevil, and then instead of finding the other issues to finish the stories, I would just reread that one issue. It was really weird. And so every once in a while I'd go, I'm going to reread my comics, and I'd reread 50 issues, but they were all random stories that didn't connect, of different titles and whatever. So anyway, Marvel Universe, I bought this one as a kid, and I looked at this thing, I wore it out. I looked at it so many times, But it took me a long time to collect the other ones, but I finally did get them all, definitely.
Yeah, and the cover, it's all white background, completely white background, like they're floating in space, and just all the characters running left to right.
Right.
So, it's continued the back cover, front cover. It's one big thing. But on the front cover, we got Spider-Man. Star Fox is also looking at the camera. Look at that, Star Fox.
Where's Star Fox? See, I see. Yep, on the right.
We also got Silver Surfer, that big green brain dude or whatever from the Kree.
Yeah, what's his name? Oh, geez,
Jimmy?
you should know this. I can't remember his name.
Probably begins with an S.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I think it's Steve. Mm-hmm. And then there's the Wizard. Storm is kind of peeking in there on the front cover.
Yeah. Submariner looks great.
Mohawk Storm. Do you know who the artist is that drew the cover?
Yes, it's Ron Frenz.
That is correct. Ron Frenz.
And I must say, this is actually a really good cover. I don't like the inks by Joseph Rubinstein, but these figures are very fluid. Look at the Silver Surfer. The way his head is slightly elongated to give it that kind of motion, Yep. And Submariner's physique is perfect. Slide looks great. The Spider-Man villain. I don't know if you know Slide, the guy in the foreground.
Yeah, I was flipping through this book earlier, and when I got to Slide, I said, "Who in the blue hell is this?" So we'll talk about him later.
Sure.
But also on the cover in the bottom there, it says "Sif to Sunspot." So that's what you're getting in this issue. Sif to Sunspot.
And I also got
that DC one we did last week. Was it basically by letter?
No, it was the same as this.
Okay.
It didn't. Yeah, it was just whatever part they were at in the alphabet. Yeah.
Alrighty.
But also, I remember when I bought this as a kid, I didn't know who the hell Sif or Sunspot was.
Yeah. That was the great thing about these things. You could learn about all these new characters and stuff.
Right.
So all right, and this was $1.50,
which was a lot at the time. Yeah.
Marvel's 25th anniversary. Again, it always blows my mind when I read that, Michael. 1986 was Marvel's 25th anniversary, right?
Yeah.
But yet, if you told me in 1980 '86. Like, hey, remember those early Fantastic Four? She's like, oh, that was so long ago.
Oh, I know. It feels like the ancient past. Yes, I totally
and now
agree.
this is, 36 years ago?
Right.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
So old, Michael. Mm-hmm. All right, but anyway, anything else here? Looking at the inside cover here, the credits. Peter Sanderson is credited as a writer-researcher.
Yep.
Howard Mackey, assistant editor. Of course, Mark Grunwald is the writer and the producer of all this. Steve Saffel, I don't know that guy, writer-researcher.
He was a marketing guy. I remember meeting him at a convention. Like, he was yeah.
Huh.
He was the one, I believe, who announced, because this is before the internet, he was the one that announced the X-Men #1 reboot and the X-Force #1. Like in 1991 or whatever that was, so I remember him.
There's a bunch of other people listed. Of course, Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief, and Joseph Rubinstein, inker and embellisher. Art Nichols, art enhancer. Mm-hmm. James Fry, art enhancer. What do you think that means?
Well, maybe they fixed mistakes or tweaked things. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because usually like enhancer, that in the old days that used to mean inker, but
yeah, maybe they helped with things. Yeah,
supposedly. All right, so let's get into it, Michael. Number one, Sif. Lady Sif.
Let's see. Oh, this is a great shot.
Walt Simonson.
Yep. I'm actually going to keep 2 tabs of this open so I can keep track of the artist, too.
Yeah, it's good thinking, because at the beginning of the issue, they give you the credits of all the artists.
Right. But yeah, this is Walt Simonson, like, at his peak. It's just, I could stare at this for hours. It's so good. And then also, we should point out one of the differences between this and Who's Who is that the art included, like, to supplement the entry, is actually art from the original comics, right? It's not new art.
Yeah, and I like that a lot.
I kind of like it better. Yeah.
Because I think last week, when we were talking about the DC, you seemed to be underwhelmed by that. Like, you like the fact that DC did all original art and everything, but I don't know. I kind of like ripping panels out of actual
Well, here's
stories.
the thing. DC and Who's Who, they had art behind the character, which is good.
Yeah.
But by showing the original panels, like here, you get exposed to a lot of artists you wouldn't typically see, like, maybe Jack Kirby or... Like, this is all, as far as I can tell, this is all Walt Simonson art.
Yes, this is all Simonson.
Right, but if you flip through the rest of the issue, you'll see, like, classic Kirby and Ditko art, and it's a good way to be exposed to that, you know?
Yeah, we should mention, we get the big head-to-toe shot of the character, but in the Marvel Handbook, the background is just one solid color. The color changes behind each character, but for Lady Sif, it's all yellow. But in the DC version of Who's Who, there would be like a collage of images behind the main character's picture. So that was nice. But I do like getting the panels from the actual comic books. It gives you a better sense of the character, I think, seeing the actual panels. But...
I know what you mean.
And also, I would say the write-ups in this book are much more extensive than in Who's Who. Because Who's Who, it was always one page, right? Like,
later on, they started expanding it for characters like Superman and Wonder Woman. They'd give them 2 pages. But for these guys, sometimes it's like 4 or 5 pages. It's crazy.
Yeah, depending on who the character is.
Right.
Like Lady Sif gets 2 pages, right?
Right,
yeah.
right.
And the basic info at the top they give for everybody. Real name, Sif. Occupation, warrior, shield maiden. Weren't you a shield maiden in the 70s?
I was. Yes, I was. Yep.
Then her identity, publicly known in Asgard and on Earth, although the general populace of Earth tends not to believe she is a goddess.
Uh-huh.
So they think she's loopy.
Uh-huh.
They just think this Sif's lady's crazy.
It's an interesting little factoid, an extra degree of realism. I like that.
Legal status, citizen of Asgard. Other aliases, none. Place of birth, Asgard. Marital status, single. Known relatives, Heimdall.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they were related.
I didn't know. Well, maybe they're all related. I don't know.
Group affiliation, Gods of Asgard. Base of operations, Asgard. First appearance, Journey into Mystery 102. And then her history, and you get an extensive detailing of her history.
Right.
And then when that's done, you get her height, 6'2". Wow, Lady Sif. I didn't realize she was that big. Weight, 425 pounds.
Yeah, she is a goddess, right?
Yikes. Yeah, a lot of muscle, I guess. Eyes blue, hair black, originally gold.
Uh-huh.
Now, what does that mean? Did she dye it?
Or maybe like in the myths, it was gold and they just changed it. Yeah. I don't know.
Strength level, Sif possesses the normal strength of an Asgardian woman. goddess of her physical age, height, and build, who engages in intensive regular exercise. That was always one of their catchphrases for describing people's strength.
Right.
Like who engages in extensive... Sif can lift, press, in parentheses, 30 tons.
Mm-hmm.
The average Asgardian woman can lift about 25 tons.
Stronger than the average Asgardian. Yeah.
Yep. Known superhuman powers. Then here, Sif possesses conventional attributes of an Asgardian woman. In parentheses again, goddess. And they go through all that. Then her abilities, extensive training in unarmed combat, as well as swordsmanship. Weapons. Sif wields a special sword enchanted by Odin. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
It enables her to cleave passageways between dimensions by a special pattern of swinging motions, primarily between Asgard and Earth. So I had no idea Sif could do that.
Me neither.
We're learning new things every day, Michael.
See, that's what this is for, right?
But yeah, that's how this whole book goes. And we're going to do an extensive detailing of every character.
Oh, by the way, I got to point out something about the art here. I never noticed it until now, but that close-up shot of her, does that not look like Sigourney Weaver?
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a really good shot there.
Yeah, he probably, Aliens came out right around that time, right?
Right,
it's probably. I always like to look at that, like to figure which actresses or actors influenced artists. Because you can, like, from what era, you know what I mean? Like, sure. John Byrne was pretty heavily influenced by the Mary Tyler Moore Show in the 70s.
Really?
I can tell you that right now. Yeah.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah. A lot of his ladies look like Rhoda Morgenstern.
Okay.
But at least in the 70s. But here we go. Next up, Silvermane.
Yeah, great shot.
Now, I don't know who this fella is, really.
He's a Spidey villain.
But when I think Silvermane, though, is this how he always looked?
No, he looked like a regular, old man, and then he legally died, as it says here, and then he came back as this guy, as like a cyborg.
Yeah, he's like a robot.
Right. See, you can see on the second page of his entry, you can see what he used to look like.
Yeah, see, that's the guy I know as Silvermane. He's just the old guy, the old gangster guy with white hair.
Right.
Silvermane. But this guy here, he's a robot.
Right. Very cool design, though, eh?
Yeah, it's kind of like an outward frame of an exoskeleton, like how would you? But inside the frame, there's the wires and this,
right?
So you can see through the outer frame into the inner stuff. Yeah,
it's like if you can imagine the Terminator, right? Except that you can see metallic, tendons.
Hey, Michael, I remember on a previous episode of Flea Market Fantasy, you mentioned that you liked action figures that you could see through. Remember that?
Yes, that's right. Here we go.
You probably like this Silvermane fella.
Yeah.
But he was just like a gangster guy who apparently then died and got a cyborg body.
Right.
All right. And who drew that picture there?
This is Kerry Gamble.
Kerry Gamble, yeah.
Kerry Gamble, good artist, yeah.
Yeah. He, I believe, didn't he win the Flea for the Indiana Jones?
Oh, he might have. Yes, he did. Yes.
I think he did,
yeah.
Yep. Next up, Silver Sable.
Another Spidey villain.
This is a great drawing, too. And I think this is Ron Friends.
This is Ron Friends. It actually doesn't look like Ron Friends. Like that.
I know.
Face,
I was surprised, too. But the lines of her leg there, that's great. And,
right.
Really good stuff.
The face is really, really good. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. It almost, I wouldn't have guessed that was Ron Friends. No. Not to insult Ron Friends, but I mean, this is really good stuff.
Yeah.
Silver Sable, of course, she's the leader of the Wild Pack, Michael. Mm-hmm. That's her occupation.
Yeah.
Leader of the Wild Pack. I had no idea. That's way better than being leader of the Wolf Pack. Remember those kids?
Oh, yeah, I remember them, of course.
Wheels. Remember Wheels? Right.
Great stuff, Larry Hama. Anyway.
But yeah, Silver Sable, amazing Spider-Man villain, sometimes good lady, right? She's like a mercenary for hire.
Right. Hunts Nazis.
She straddles that line between good and evil.
Yep. Good character.
She just gets the one page.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's about it. So the Wild Pack are like her henchmen and everything? Is that
it's like her, exactly, her henchmen.
Hey, 5'5", 125 pounds.
Right.
So it's like 1/4 of Lady Sif.
Right, good point.
Anyway. Next up, Silver Samurai.
Yes.
Hey, Michael, just looking at this, can you tell who drew this?
You know what's funny? I've looked at this 1,000 times. I couldn't tell, but I just looked back, and it's Michael Golden.
That's right. It's your buddy Michael Golden.
Yes, this is, and now I can tell. Now that I'm looking at it, I can tell.
Oh yeah, sure. Now you can tell.
But this is a great shot. He just looks amazing, eh?
Yeah, Silver Samurai. Normally, again, Grunwald said he liked to get the guy most closely associated with the character, the artist most closely associated with the character. I don't remember Michael Golden ever drawing Silver Samurai, but did he?
No, I mean, that's a good point. I don't think he ever did.
Like, I would think Paul Smith, because of that X-Men, those 2 X-Men issues.
Right.
Or whatever. But, yeah, everyone knows the Silver Samurai. It's Kunichio Harada. That's the Silver Samurai.
Right.
And he his first appearance was Daredevil 111. I didn't even realize he premiered in Daredevil.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
How about that? Because everyone, at least I know him from feuding with Wolverine there.
Right,
Those X-Men issues. He stabbed Wolverine through the belly there.
Right. Good story.
Oh, yeah, look, there's a panel of that issue of Paul Smith drawing.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, great art. See, there you go. Right there, some Paul Smith art. Great.
Yeah, so that's nice. Probably not the best panel they could have picked there.
Debatable. But it's a good action shot. I don't know. I like it.
Silver Surfer up next.
There you go. See, again, as a kid, this was the first time I ever saw Silver Surfer.
This is kind of the lame Silver Surfer before he really got cool. This is John Byrne drawing this, right?
Well, yeah.
Because if you squint it, hey, look, it's White Vision.
Yeah. See, this is. I mean, I'm not a huge John Byrne fan, and this is partly why. Like, this to me is just a really dull drawing.
Yeah, it's not a good drawing. But I mean, in fairness, Silver Surfer was pretty dull for a long time, and then Ron Lim came in the late '80s, and
I can't stand Ron Lim. No, can't stand him.
But he really jacked up Silver Surfer, made him all chiseled. And muscle.
The one thing around that time is, he made him look shiny, like more metallic. That I'll give you. My favorite Silver Surfer artists are John Buscema and Jack Kirby. But the one thing that was weird about reading those early issues is when people would see him on the street, they would say his face was white and powdery. So I don't think he was supposed to really look metallic until later on, like the later artists, you know?
But metallic is the way to go, right?
Yeah, it has to be. Like chrome, right? He should be like chrome. Yeah,
also, back here, he wore the underpants. You know?
Right, that's a good point, yep.
Like later Silver Surfer, they just made his whole body metal, and, they didn't make lines for underpants. But here, he's got the underpants.
Yep.
So, and the surfboard even looks weird. It looks like a tongue depressor more,
Yeah, it's not very dynamic, the whole thing. Yeah. Now, if you look through, I believe the next page is mostly John Byrne art, I think. But if you go to the third page, you see a nice Jack Kirby shot of Norrin Rad's face. And that, again, as a kid, that might have been one of the first times I saw Kirby. That's a great shot.
Yeah, these are also Kirby, him fighting Galactus and whatnot, right?
Yeah, I think so. If not, the top one might be John Buscema. Actually, to be honest, it's kind of hard to tell if this is John Buscema or Kirby. I don't know. The face, I would say, is Kirby. But anyway.
Yeah, either way, those two, they're good. Either way.
Right.
They're good. But yeah, it's a big write-up for Silver Surfer. We get a...
Huge, 4 pages, yeah.
A lot of pages. And he's 6'4", Silver Surfer.
Yep.
His weight, unknown. He's never stepped on a scale for anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, Silver Surfer is one of my favorite characters. He's awesome.
He's great, yeah.
And look, there's a little picture of a surfboard, too. He actually goes 4.5 pages, Michael. Look at that, or 5.
Well, wait a minute. Wait, 1, 2,
he bleeds
3,
into another page.
3.5.
Oh, 3.5? Okay.
Yeah.
Because then the bottom half of the page with the surfboard is Sinister Syndicate. And they just get, that's all. They just get the half of that page.
Yes. Well, because they only appeared once, so. Or twice.
Yeah, they got 5 little pictures of their heads. Mm-hmm. And the Sinister Syndicate is the Beetle, Hydro Man, Rhino, Speed Demon, and Boomerang.
Right.
And you just get the one paragraph describing them. And first appearance, Amazing Spider-Man 280.
Yep.
That's them. I'm not too familiar with this Speed Demon fella.
He's just the guy that runs fast, I think.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Right. Good name, though. I like his name.
Next up, Sin Eater.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
I don't really know much about the Sin Eater.
Oh, you gotta... Okay, listen. if you only do one thing tonight, go and read the original Sin Eater saga by Peter David is pretty good, but The Return of the Sin Eater by Peter David and Sal Buscema is classic.
I hate Peter David.
Oh, you'll like him if you read this story.
His real name's Stanley Carter, and he is a detective, New York City Police Department. He doesn't look like a good guy, though.
No, he's a bad guy. He's a serial killer.
Oh, hey, there's Anne DeWolf.
Jean DeWolf.
Oh, Jean DeWolf. Who's Anne DeWolf?
I don't know.
I think she might be a boxer, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I got to point out, this art is actually really good, but it's by Rod Wingham, who I'm not a fan of, but this art is good with Sin Eater here.
I never heard of that guy's name before in my life.
He drew G.I. Joe for a few years.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good enough picture there.
Yep.
Maybe that left arm's too small.
It's also kind of like standard Marvel anatomy. Like we said, it looks like every other Marvel character right here at this point, you know?
Yeah. Next up, Siren.
Yep.
And she is Banshee's daughter,
right? Yes. And later a member of X-Force.
Yeah, so she's kind of got the old school Banshee costume, and
right.
She can scream and everything. Now, when I was looking at this picture, Michael, right away, I'm like, oh, that's Brett Blevins.
But it's not.
No, it's not. Who? Say the artist?
I'm not sure the pronunciation, but Steve Lealoha.
That's why I wanted you to say it.
Right, Lealoha. I think I've met him, yeah. But yeah, he's a good artist for sure.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me of Blevins in the face.
Right.
But yeah, so that's Siren. And she gets 2 pages.
Yep. Some art from some SpiderWoman comics there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
5'6", 112 pounds. For Siren. Talk about her power. Hey, next up we got the Skrulls. Now, look at how they're drawing. Who drew the Skrulls here, Michael?
Skrulls, this is Keith Williams, who's usually an inker.
Because they
pretty good art.
He made is this how they're always depicted? Little bodies, big heads?
That's a good question. I didn't think so, but maybe they were drawn like that way by Kirby and he just ran with it. I don't know.
Because, yeah, it's really weird. I've never seen a Skrull depicted like this.
Now, if you go to the next page, as I've said, I'm not a huge John Byrne fan, but
that's great.
Those top 2 panels are inked by Terry Austin. Those are great. Like, Storm changing.
Yeah, Byrne and Austin is what you need. Like, when Byrne and Austin are together, that's dynamite, right?
Right. So, yeah. That's his peak, yep. And then the second, like the panel with the 2 women, that's great.
Yep, look at those eyes, yeah.
And then the bottom one's not quite as good because I think that's Byrne inking himself, but it's pretty good.
I like him smacking the other Skrull in the back of the head. But yeah, everyone knows the Skrulls, the little alien race, the green guys with pointy ears, and they can shapeshift.
Right.
And they're going to be the next big villains in the Marvel Universe, right?
Oh, because of, what is it called? Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Like, that's what all the movies are going to be about, correct?
Yep. Sounds like it, yep.
How about that? So, hey, next up, Michael, your buddy Slide.
Oh, yeah. Good costume.
Jalome, is that his first name?
Jalome, yes.
Jalome Beecher.
Yep.
Chemical engineer, professional thief.
Yep.
First appearance, Amazing Spider-Man 272. 5'11", 170.
Notice his costume's a little bit different in the picture at the bottom. It's green. Elbow and knee pads instead of yellow. He must have changed it. I don't remember that.
Yeah, like his outfit, it's like a full body suit. Like it's like a grayish white, depending on how it's colored and shaded here. And then he's got yellow forearm protectors, yellow knee pads, and a yellow mask around his eyes. Even though his whole face is mask covered, he's got like a yellow visor kind of around his eyes with 2 circular eye things. And then he's got like a white little purse strapped around his chest.
Pouch, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think he keeps in there?
I was wondering that myself. I know that his powers come from some kind of like chemical, so maybe he keeps extra, chemicals in there.
Maybe his weed?
Maybe.
Cookies?
Could be.
Candy?
Munchies. Yeah.
I don't know anything about Slider, Michael. What's his deal?
Well, he's got a cool power. His costume.
I'm going to guess he can slide.
Well, but his body's completely frictionless.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when Spider-Man tries to grab him, he just slips right out.
Right. That's how. And this guy uses it to rob banks. He's great. Also, his boots have no friction, so he's able to skate over any ground surface at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. With the ability to instantly change direction by shifting his weight or grasping a stationary object. Isn't that great?
This costume's terrible, right?
It's okay.
It's horrible.
I think he'd make a great villain in a movie.
He'd be laughed out of the theater. Slider. Next up, Smart Ship Friday.
Yeah.
What the hell's Smart Ship Friday?
It's the ship from Power Pack. I don't know the full story, but yeah, that's the one that the Horseman landed in, I think. I don't know.
The Horseman. Hey, yeah, we've never done Power Pack on the show, Mike.
No, we have. That's a good point. I don't think we have. No.
I've never read a Power Pack.
Oh, they're solid. They're really solid.
All right, well, get cracking, Michael.
All right, well, you can pick it too. But anyway.
So we get half a page of that Smart Ship. Then we get Snarks.
Yeah, they are from... Oh, they're from Power Pack too. What a coincidence.
Yeah, all right.
And we should point out this art is by... They're both by John Bogdanove. Or Bogdanov. I'm sure to pronounce his name.
I think Bogdanov, right?
Okay.
But he drew Power Pack.
Yes. Yeah. He wasn't the original artist, but yeah, he drew it for a time, definitely.
Wasn't there a lady artist early on?
Yes, June Brigman.
Yeah, there you go. But this guy, this Snark fella, that anatomy is fucked up. What is going on with these? Not that it's drawn poorly. I mean, like the actual anatomy of the person, the structure of this creature.
Well, if you flip to the next page, you'll see they're all like that. It's basically like a snake with arms and legs.
Yeah, but it's weird. Yeah. Like the legs, but like the base of them is kind of like...
I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, like their hips. And then their legs shoot, instead of going down, their legs shoot up.
Right.
And then back down at the hips. So I'm going to guess they're prone to a lot of arthritis in the hips and knees.
Yeah, maybe.
Because...
Pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I like the designs.
All right. Next up, hey, a lot of Snarks. They're showing a lot of Snarks here. There's like 4 Snarks.
Mm-hmm.
Sons of the Tiger.
These are characters I still have never come across. Oh, Deadly Hands of Kung Fu.
Oh, there you go. Hey, we did an issue of the Kung Fu fella.
Uh-huh. And this is, just for the record, this is George Perez art. See, this looks nothing like Perez. Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't guess this was Perez if I'm just looking at it. Yeah.
Right.
How about that? Yeah, so there's like there's like 5 characters here. White Tiger. I've heard of White Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the only one.
Yeah, I don't know any of these guys, unfortunately.
Robert Diamond, Abraham Brown, Lin Sun, Lotus Shinchuko.
And White Tiger. Yep.
Next, we have Soviet super soldiers. I know these people. Dark Star, Crimson Dynamo, Gremlin, Vanguard, Ursa Major, Titanium Man.
Art by Art Nichols.
Yeah, we mentioned Art Nichols. He was an art enhancer in the credits, but what did he draw? What is he known for penciling? Anything?
I'm not really sure. He was never huge, that's for sure.
Professor Peter Phobos is also a member of these people. Next up, the Space Knights.
Oh, this is the ROM characters.
Yeah, we did ROM and the Space Knights. Who drew? Because these are just little headshots. Who drew these? This
is our pal Sal Buscema.
I was gonna say not a lot of work gone into these.
Wow.
but there's I don't know, 20 headshots. Just no neck, shoulders, nothing. Just a head.
Right.
Of various Space Knight robot people.
And some of these names, are odd. Like we've got ROM, then we have Starshine 1, Terminator. We've heard that before. I'm not going to read them all here, but like some of these, let's see, Trapper, Breaker, Unseen, that's a weird name, Scanner, Pulsar, Starshine
Hole.
2, yeah. Lightning Bolt, Heatwave, they're all toys, so.
Gloriole.
Wait, I thought you were joking. There is one called Gloriole.
Gloriole.
Holy moly, you're right.
So, that's... Who came up with that one?
Yeah.
He likes to frequent the truck stops.
Yeah.
Next up, Space Phantom.
Yep.
Who drew this one?
Well, see, this is, if you flip to the next page, this is the actual entry. The first half page is art from a comic book. But can you guess who drew this full shot of Space Phantom?
Yeah, it's very, the lines, it almost looks like a Sienkiewicz kind of drawing, but I want to go Frank Miller.
It is Frank Miller.
Yeah, how about that?
Yep. Very stylized.
Yeah, very sharp lines. And I loved Frank Miller's early stuff on Daredevil, you know?
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of his later stuff, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So I could kind of recognize it from there. But yeah, Space Phantom, former military strategist, now agent of Immortus. Immortus, was he that fella who was also Kang, right?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, that was that whole deal. Do you know anything about the Space Phantom?
Barely, no.
First appearance, Avengers #2. Wow.
I have read that. I just don't remember anything about him.
Yeah, he's 6'6", 215 pounds. He doesn't look that big.
No, the way he's all hunched over, no.
Yeah. And, the Space Phantom. So there you go. I don't know anything about this guy. He possesses the power to assume the appearance and powers of virtually any single mortal being. The nature of the power is unknown, but it is presumably a non-magical ability.
That's pretty cool how they actually put in there, like when they don't know something, they just don't know. That's cool.
At the point that he assumes the being's likeness, the model is automatically shunted to limbo until such a time as the Phantom assumes his own form. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, they said Mark Grunwald really wanted all the superpowers to be based in reality as much as possible. So he wanted like very scientific explanations for all the superpowers. And
that's
then
Mark Grunwald for you, yeah.
But then they tried to cut, I think in this, like that was at least in volume 1. In this volume, I think they said they tried to tone it down a little bit because it was getting too convoluted, some of the explanations. So maybe that's why they're just saying, hey, we don't know. You know, we're not even going to bullshit you anymore. We have no idea. Speed Demon, we mentioned him earlier. He gets his own entry now.
Yep. And this art is by Carmine Infantino. You know him.
I do.
He's legendary Flash artist.
Also, he did SpiderWoman, I believe, that we reviewed here on the show.
Yep.
Yeah, Carmine Infantino. Sometimes I really like his stuff, and sometimes it's like, oh my god, this is amazingly terrible.
Yeah,
but,
I agree.
Yeah, it depends where you catch him. But I like this picture of Speed Demon. And it's a nice old school comic book feel to it. And his first appearance was, he was the original Wizard.
Yes. Well, he wasn't the original Wizard. He was the second Wizard.
Oh,
he was I think he was the villain Wizard that was in the Squadron Sinister, and then he went on to become the Speed Demon.
Yeah, how about that? So, 5'11", 175. I always like getting the height and weight. Next up, hey, who's this guy? SpiderMan. What?
This art is by Ron Frenz.
Yeah, I was going to guess Ron Frenz on that.
Yeah.
And it's Spidey-Man in his black and white costume. And
but we should point out, this is the only character, I believe, in the whole Marvel Universe who has 2 full pinups. Because if you go to the next page, he's in his classic blue and red costume.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Is that also Ron Frenz?
Yes.
You could tell he's trying to do a little Ditko there in the face
Absolutely.
and neck. And,
even the other thing, too, is the webs. John Romita Sr. drew the webs the opposite curve. He curved them like concave, and these are convex. I mean, you have to see it to understand what I mean, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So Spidey, he gets 2 big pinups, and then we get some action shots of him as well.
Yes, and I can tell you, like, if you look at these panels, that first action shot is Ditko. That second close-up of the face, that's Mike Zeck. That's a great shot.
Yeah, I really like Zeck.
Oh, he's so good. And then the other ones, I'm not sure who did these other ones, but they all look great.
That looks like McFarlane almost on the bottom there. Or the one where he's webbing Doc Ock in the face.
Well, it's definitely not, but yeah.
Yeah, but it almost does. Is that maybe Golden? Or?
That actually might be John Byrne. I'm not sure.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
So then Spider-Man, then we get a shot of his camera?
Yeah. I don't know why we need that, but...
Is there anything interesting about his camera that we need?
I
I don't.
Well, I'm assuming there must be because it kind of like is able to track him, right? When he's and take photos of him.
I guess, but yeah, I'm looking through it. It doesn't look. Yeah, it's like a schematic of his camera.
Uh huh. But we also have
a circuit board custom exposure electronics program for police recording film rated at ASA 6400.
See, there you go.
Thank God I knew that because that really helps. And it shows web shooters. They
that is cool. Yes.
Schematics on his web shooters. Yeah, that is cool there.
Yeah.
You know? How about that? Hey, wait, I want to get to the height and weight because, Mike, I want you to guess Peter Parker's height and weight.
Well, I have it right in front of me, so. Oh, yeah, it's too late.
5'10", 165.
Yeah. So he's tall and skinny. That's the idea. Well, tall.
I'm an inch taller, 10 pounds lighter. 15 pounds lighter, actually. I've lost
What?
weight. Yeah.
You're vegetarian, right?
Yeah, I'm like a Ditko SpiderMan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Next up, SpiderWoman.
Yeah, I love this shot. SpiderWoman by Mike Zeck.
Yeah, Zeck. Yeah,
it's a great shot.
Yeah, I like the legs. Mike Zeck always does the tapered legs, real skinny at the ankle and up.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Great shot. I believe he probably co-created her because he drew Secret Wars, right? So
that is correct. He did co-create. He actually gets a co-creation on the Spider-Man costume as well.
Oh, nice. Yes. Yeah, she has a great costume, yeah.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing except for white gloves.
Right.
And white legs, I guess. What's this lady's name again? Unrevealed at this point, but we learn her name.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but can I point out a little historical fact that is oft neglected here?
Sure.
The way that Venom is portrayed, people seem to think that a black symbiote, came onto Spider-Man and only is black because the symbiote's black, but that's not true. It's because the symbiote could have looked like anything, but Peter Parker subconsciously redesigned his own costume to look like this Spider-Woman's costume. She came first.
Yeah, that is weird because no one ever gives her credit. Julia Carpenter is her name.
Yes, right.
Julia Carpenter. Because the first Spider-Woman, of course, is...
Jessica Drew.
That's right, Jessica Drew. Just testing you, Michael. Just testing.
Of course.
But yeah, Julia Carpenter. Yeah, because she appears in this costume, and then Spider-Man gets his later, like an issue or two later, right?
Yeah, exactly. The weird fact.
Yeah, no one ever gives her credit. 5'9", 140. This is just Julia Carpenter.
Interesting.
Hey, next up, Mike Gale, Spiral, drawn by Art Adams.
Oh,
holy hell!
See, inked by Art Adams as well. You can tell that's great inking.
Yeah, he was my favorite artist back when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, this is peak. Like I prefer this era. Like he was at his peak in the mid to late '80s for sure. I think.
Yeah. Spiral, of course, she was the henchwoman of Mojo to begin with, right? And then, isn't that correct?
Yeah, definitely worked for him. Yeah.
And she has like the 6 arms, and she can do magic. She was always hunting down Longshot and shit.
Right.
And then she joined the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants there for a while, right?
Right. And I kind of didn't notice this detail, but the 3 right arms are human, and then the 3 left arms, one's human, one is half cyborg, and one's full cyborg. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that leads me to believe someone cut off one of her arms at some point.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe Wolverine. Let's credit it to Wolverine. First appearance, Longshot issue 1.
Yeah.
Of course, our beloved Ann Nocenti and Art Adams did that.
Yes. Yeah.
Warrior Sorceress, aide to Mojo, U.S. government agent. Because that was when the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants they were Freedom Force, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. That was a good era.
Very good. Yep.
Yeah. Next up, Sprite. Now, don't be confused that this isn't Kitty Pryde Sprite. Old school Kitty Pryde. Remember, she was called Sprite.
That's right.
This Sprite is some dork. Who is this kid?
Awesome art by June Brigman, but I think the idea with Sprite is that he's always like a kid, right? He can never grow up, as far as I know.
Occupation prankster.
There you go.
Wow, how much does that pay? Yeah, good old prankster. Group affiliation. Oh, he's one of the Eternals of Earth.
Yes.
So See, I had no idea.
Yeah, cool. And then that's some Kirby art at the bottom. You can tell Kirby Crackle.
5'1", 140 pounds.
Yep.
Yeah, because what's his first appearance? Eternals Volume 1, Issue 9.
Yep.
Next up, Spy Master.
Wait, let me just click here. Oh, this is great art. I love this art. This is, Henry Bismuth. I've never heard of this person.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not in love with it like you, but it's good. It's solid.
I think this is, like, I used to, like, look at these pages and, like, copy them, like, draw them as a kid, and this is definitely one of the ones I drew. I mean, you're right. Objectively, like, his arms are a little bit off.
Yeah.
But I think it's a cool shot. I like it. Good inking, too, actually.
It's the kind of picture a kid would love because of his costume. He's got a cool blue and yellow costume. And his logo is kind of like a circle, a meshed circle. I don't know, is that supposed to be the world? And then like a knife.
Right. And look at this. Real name, unrevealed. Legal status, unknown. Identity, secret. Place of birth, unrevealed. There's no information on this guy.
Guy sounds like a real jerk.
Yeah.
First appearance, Iron Man issue 33.
Yep.
Spy Master. Because that's I always have trouble, Miguel, when someone says, "Hey, name some Iron Man villains," and I'm like, you got Mandarin. I think of Mandarin, right?
Right.
I think of maybe Crimson Dynamo because he's an armor guy.
Titanium Man.
And then I'm done. I can never think of anyone.
Madam Mask.
Oh, Whiplash, I guess because of the movie. I remember Whiplash was in the movie.
Right.
But otherwise, Iron Man doesn't really have a lot of great villains, you know?
Yeah, you could argue that. But he was kind of a B-lister until the movie. That's why, right?
Yeah. Like, you compare his rogues gallery like Spider-Man, Captain America.
Oh, yeah, there's no comparison. Yeah,
not even close. Next up, Squadron Supreme. We've never read any of these fellas on Flea Market Fantasy. Yeah, I've almost picked them several times, and each time I remember, oh shit, Mark Grunwald wrote it.
Here's the thing. Can I just say, for the record, Mark Grunwald is not always good, but at least 1 out of 10 Mark Grunwald comics are really good, and then the rest are really bad.
Well, this series, Squadron Supreme, I think is at least 12 issues, so we got a good shot at picking one. Maybe we'll hit one, and then we'll hit the good one.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're a superhero team, and they go through... What's their deal, Mike? Are they from this Earth, or are they from a different Earth?
No, they're from... I don't remember what the other Earth is called, but first there was the Squadron Sinister on our Earth, and then the Avengers met another version of them that were good, and they were the Squadron Supreme, and they're from a different Earth. I'm trying to find what it's called. Oh, it's called Other Earth.
Yeah, very creative.
Yeah, and obviously, as you can see by the first thing you notice is that Nighthawk looks like Batman. So then through intuition, you're like, oh, so then obviously Hyperion is Superman, and then you go through and you go, oh, look, Wizard is Flash, Dr. Spectrum is Green Lantern, Power Princess is Wonder Woman, Amphibian is Aquaman.
Who did the art on these?
This is Paul Ryan, great artist.
You like him because didn't he do Quasar?
He did Quasar, that's right.
Yeah. I don't like how they like Hyperion, like his midsection little. What is going on there with the inking on that?
Oh no, it's metallic. It's metallic.
I know, but like the lines, like that's fucked up. That shouldn't be.
It's a little bit fucked up.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. It looks like he has some sort of abnormal growth on his abdomen. But anyway, otherwise that's a good picture, and the Nighthawk one's good.
Right.
But yeah, these Squadron Supreme. Have you ever read Squadron Supreme at all?
Is the Pope Argentinian? Come on.
I don't know.
Of course.
All right, so we're going to do it on Flea at some point, right?
Have to. Yep.
All right.
It's in the cards. Hello?
Black Archer.
Oh,
yeah, I'm sorry. I was reading.
You.
No, I was engrossed. Because there's also a scroll down here in the Squadron Supreme. And then Black Archer. Blue Eagle. Tom Thumb.
Now, obviously, you know who these are all supposed to be analogous to, right? Is it analogous?
Yeah, it's analogous. Yeah. Sounds about right. Well, the Wizard's Flash. Dr. Spectrum would be... We
already did him, yeah. Green Lantern.
Oh, okay, yeah. Power Princess, I guess that's Wonder Woman. Amphibian, Aquaman.
Right.
Skrull, Martian Manhunter. Is that what
Right.
they're going for there? Black Archer, Green Arrow.
Right.
Blue Eagle, Hawkman. Tom Thumb. You got me there.
The Atom. Not a very good analogy, but yeah, he's supposed to be the Atom.
Lady Lark. Would she be Black Canary?
Yes, Black Canary.
Arcana, would that be Zatanna?
Yes.
Nuke. I have no idea who that would be.
Firestorm.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Ape X.
This is where it gets sketchy. I don't think he's supposed to be anybody, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, because he's like half monkey, half tank, or half motorized chair.
Actually, you know what? If you go to the next page, you'll see these characters like Dr. Decibel. Oh, I know who these are supposed to be. Okay, you got Dr. Decibel, Foxfire. So I think Dr. Decibel is supposed to be Vibe. This is from Justice League Detroit, okay?
You're not telling me Apex is Cyborg, are you?
Who?
Cyborg?
No, not Cyborg. But I think if Dr. Decibel is Vibe and Foxfire is... Oh, what is her name?
Right?
No, Foxfire is... she's black. She has pointy hair. I can't remember her name. Damn, I can't remember her name. But Apex must be... I don't know, maybe he's Steel. There's a character named Steel who's like a cyborg. Maybe he's supposed to be Steel. And then who's this guy, Lamprey? Who the hell is he supposed to be?
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe we ran out of analogy.
Maybe, yeah. And then we have Quagmire. Yeah, I don't know who he's supposed to be either.
Moonglow, Thermite, Haywire, Inertia. Man, these Squadron Supreme people, they get a whole lot of characters in this book.
Yep.
Now, you got to ask yourself, Miguel, is this Mark Grunwald playing favorites here? Do we need 30 different Squadron Supreme characters in here? I don't think so.
You got to have them all. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, Hyperion, the Batman guy, already do like 5 of them. I don't know if we need Quagmire and
yeah. I mean, and you know what's funny is I bet you they only made 2 or 3 appearances, some of these later characters, right? Because they're all dead.
It's just Mark Grunwald propping up his own stuff.
Right.
Next up, Star Fox. We mentioned him on the cover. This guy was with the Avengers for a while. Isn't he like Thanos' brother?
Oh wait, you missed Stain International. You got to go back one.
Oh, I thought that was part of Squadron Supreme.
That's Obadiah Stain's headquarters. We can skip that though.
He's an Iron Man villain, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He was what's his face?
Yeah, Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
Hey, did you ever see Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, Michael?
Oh, of course I did. Yeah. That's like
great.
80s, right? 80s. Yeah.
Late 70s maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think I did. Maybe I didn't.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the one with Lou Diamond Phillips. But anyway.
Yeah, no. This is Clint Eastwood and Jeff Bridges, I think.
Okay. Sounds good, though.
Yeah.
I got to say, this art by Jim Starlin for Star Fox is great.
Yeah, it's all right.
I like the inking style.
It's a little flat. But Star Fox is a creep, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
his power is he's a date rapist.
I know.
That his power?
Yes, it is. 100%. Yep.
He can make anyone fall in love with him or something, right?
Yep, that's it. 100%.
He's like a walking roofie. Good old Star Fox.
Yep.
But isn't he like Thanos' brother or cousin or nephew or something?
Yeah, that's not often mentioned, but yes, he is Thanos' brother.
Because they're both from Titan.
Right.
Yeah. A moon of Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
What did they say? This guy doesn't look that... He's 6'1", 190. Wow. That's bigger than I thought for him. What's his... how do they describe his power? Star Fox possesses several superhuman powers and capacities. I just got to skip through here all this.
He has the psionic ability to stimulate the pleasure centers of the brains of people around him.
Oh, there you go.
He can magnify these emanations, provoking such extreme pleasurable sensations that a person becomes highly aroused, euphoric, or totally sedated.
Kind of like when you see Batman. You have that same effect.
Yeah, exactly. There's now a description for it.
Star Fox should not be confused with the Olympian god named Eros, Roman named Cupid, who was the son of Aphrodite, Venus. Right. Yeah. Please, Michael, do not confuse them. They get very pissed. Next up, the Starjammers.
Oh, I love the Starjammers.
from this was the X-Men in the late 70s, early 80s. The Starjammers were around, right?
Yes.
They were like a group of intergalactic pirates, but good pirates.
Right. They're in dire need of their own movie.
And wasn't that, well, they have it. It's called Guardians of the Galaxy. I think
that's what I was going to say. It's exactly the same thing, yeah.
It wasn't Scott Cyclops, wasn't his daddy the main Starjammer guy?
Yes. Big mistake, but anyway.
Yeah, that is a horrible mistake. So we got Raza. He's a guy. Then we got Hepzibah.
We got to talk about these designs, though. Raza he's got like a ponytail on his head. He's bald with orange skin. And then he has like a black and blue outfit and then one cyborg arm. Just very, very like Saturday morning cartoon, but awesome. I love it.
And he has a holster right on his belly there for a gun, and he also carries a cutlass.
Sword.
Yeah, big old
cutlass. Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, I think so. And then we have Hepzibah. She's like a giant skunk.
Yep.
How about that? I guess 5'6", 120 skunk. Not a giant skunk, but she's a walking skunk lady.
Yeah.
Then we have Chode. I don't know if that's how you want to call
I say Chod, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably Chode is like an insult here in the States. You can call someone Chode. But Chod. He's like a giant reptilian lizard guy. And it looks like he's got a little monkey on his shoulder.
Oh, yeah. It's actually his pet named Kree.
All right.
Great name.
I'll trust you on that one.
Yeah.
And then he's got like this looks like he's got like a gun. It's also like an axe.
Yeah.
There's a running joke in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that one fellow always wanted a shotgun axe. And he
really?
and he got one then at one point. Sikorsky, which is like a flying mosquito.
Right.
Sikorsky.
Interesting name.
But they don't have the daddy Starjammer. Wasn't the main guy a Starjammer? Or what was his name?
Oh, you mean what was his name? Geez, I can't remember his name. You're right though. Why isn't he here? That's a good question. Huh. I don't know.
Here's the part of the show where we Google things. Do you think he
Corsair?
Corsair, yeah. Corsair.
But why was he not there? I don't know. But we're not going to read this whole thing, so we'll never know.
It will remain a mystery.
Right.
Oh, wait, I just saw something there, Michael.
There's also Binary, who used to be Carol Danvers.
The Starjammers, therefore, were regarded as outlaws by the Shire Empire. Summers was the leader of the Starjammers. He adopted the name Corsair for himself and Starjammers for his group because of his love of tales of swashbuckling adventures. So I guess he's technically not a Starjammer. He's Corsair.
Okay.
And these are the Starjammers. So, all right. Hey, Michael, next up, Stiltman.
Yeah, your favorite,
I love
right?
me some Stiltman.
Stiltman. Art by Al Milgrom.
Good old Al Milgrom. Yeah, Stiltman, first appearance, Daredevil number 8.
Right.
Wilbur Day. He's an inventor who makes giant legs from stilts. Yeah, he's awesome. Hey, we read a book with Stiltman in Black Goliath. Remember, he was in there. He's the villain.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Look, they have a schematic breakdown of Stiltman's outfit.
Yeah. I mean, probably unnecessary, but it's cool.
How dare you? It's super necessary. Yeah.
Look at that. It's got air conditioner in there. Interesting.
Yeah. And he's got like a loud hailer. Is that like a microphone for his voice?
Yeah, I guess so,
yeah. Stun gun canisters, gas mini pump section, stun gun spray nozzles. Man, Stiltman's the shit. All right.
Uh-huh.
Next, Stingray. Dr. Walter Newell.
Yeah. I like his costume. Always have.
First appearance, tells, like you're talking like you know who he is. Tells to Astonish, issue 95 was his first appearance. And Submariner 19 is Stingray. Because Walter Newell was his alias. So you actually know this fella?
Of course. He appeared in the Avengers. And this art is by Bob Wyasek, but the stories he appeared in, I believe, were drawn by John Buscema.
We even get a breakdown of the schematics of Stingray's glider wings.
Yep. Oh, look at that! The second shot on that page. That's like a pinup. That's great.
Of him like looking up as he's flying.
Like flying. That's a great shot. Yeah.
Next up, Storm. Everybody's buddy Aurora Monroe, and this is Mohawk Storm.
Right, and this is art by Paul Smith. Great shot.
Yeah. How do you like your storm, Michael? Mohawk Storm or African Goddess Storm?
Well, the fact that this was the first storm I saw, I kind of like this storm.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like this storm as well. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I knew the X-Men a little bit from the Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends cartoon. But when I saw this storm, I was like, this is what, again, opened my eyes to all of the richness of Marvel, comics. Like, what? She's the leader of the Morlocks. Who are the Morlocks, and just reading her history and everything. It's so interesting.
I think her two distinctive looks were both perfect for the eras they were.
Right.
Like in the 70s when she first came out, that looked good. But the Mohawk here in the early 80s and the punk was everything. Oh, it was great.
Right. Yeah.
It was awesome. So.
Yeah.
Good old Storm. Everyone knows about Storm.
All this art is great. Like, the John Byrne shot of her flying is great. The John Romita Jr. shot of her elevating Kitty Pryde, that's an awesome shot.
That's also that. John Romita, the face shot there.
Oh, nice. Yep.
And
this makes me want to reread my X-Men anyway.
Next, The Stranger.
Not one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. First appearance, X-Men 11, Origin, and Fantastic Four 116.
This art is by Mike Zeck. It's good, but it's kind of diluted by Joe Rubinstein's inks.
Yeah, it's way inked too much here for Zeck. Like, I wouldn't recognize that as Zeck if you told me it's Zeck. I don't know what's this guy's deal.
I don't really know. He's an alien. He's big. That's all I know about him.
That's good enough. Not to be confused with the Phantom Stranger.
Right. Now go to that next page. Look at that gorgeous art by John Buscema, like the one of him stepping on the Silver Surfer. That's so good.
Notice he's stepping on the surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Submariner. Good old Namor. Yeah. Also, his name's just Mackenzie. That's weird.
Namor Mackenzie.
Those were the people that found him, right? The Mackenzies?
Yeah. I didn't realize until recently how much Aquaman ripped off the Origin, but yeah.
Oh, no, we talked about it in detail when we did the
but
book.
It actually got more of a ripoff as the years went on. Like, they really just copied everything, so we won't get into that.
Well, Mark Grunwald got him back with Squadron Supreme.
That's true.
He just ripped everything off from there. So everyone knows Namor, of course, good old underwater guy. There's some good John Byrne. I kind of like the way John Byrne would draw Namor there.
Pretty good, yeah, pretty good. The one at the top there, I think that's John Buscema, but that's really good.
Yeah.
Like on the second page there?
Yeah. The one of him flying with his hand towards the camera.
That's Byrne.
Yeah, that's Byrne.
Yeah. And then if you go to the next page, it's Kirby. Both Kirby. Yep.
Punching Iron Man through a wall.
Yep.
Hey, how big and guess the height weight of Submariner, Michael?
Well, I'm looking right at it, so...
You son of a bitch. Always cheap.
Well, we're looking at the same comic, but yeah.
But, you could avert your eyes. You know what I'm
he's
saying?
Pretty strong. Yeah, 85 tons.
6'2", 310 pounds. Submariner.
Yeah.
It's a solid 310. Dense muscles from living underwater, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is, Michael.
Uh-huh.
Next up, cool. The Subterraneans.
Yep. And I believe this is Byrne, but I'm going to check. Nope, Arvell Jones from Michigan. Nice guy.
Arvell Jones. What else is he known for, Arvell Jones?
All-Star Squadron. All-Star Squadron, and I believe he would have done like some oddball comics, like maybe The Champions, but I'm not sure. But definitely All-Star Squadron.
Yeah, I know we've talked about him on the show before, but I can't remember what.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Or one of those, like, I don't know, Black Goliath or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe. Next, what are the Subterraneans? They're like the mole people or whatever? Is that their deal?
Yeah, they're linked with them, I think, but I could be wrong.
Fantastic.
Oh, no, they're tied to Tyrannus, I think.
That does nothing for me. I don't know what Tyrannus is.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
But a Fantastic Four bad guy?
I think so, yeah. Or Hulk.
Next, Sunder. He's a Morlock, right?
Yep.
This is Paul Smith.
And this is Paul Smith, yeah.
And yeah, he's just a big, strong Morlock guy, 7'1", 245 pounds.
Right.
The Marauders murder him, right?
Maybe eventually. I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He's alive here.
Yeah, because this was 86 or whatever. But
Right.
I think in like, this would have been right around the time, right? When was Fall of the Mutants and Mutant Massacre? That was.
Oh yeah, it's coming soon. Yeah, good point.
So yeah. Next, Sunfire.
Oh, I love this shot.
Yeah, who's the artist though? It's
Paul Smith. It's Sandy Plunkett actually.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not Paul Smith. It's Sandy Plunkett. I don't know
really
Sandy Plunkett at all.
I can't remember what she's done, but I've definitely come across her before. But this art is really good.
Yeah, it is rock solid.
Yeah, great costume too.
Sunfire, he was an X-Men for like a couple issues there. When they brought in those new ones, remember they had to go kill the island of Krakoa, so they brought in Sunfire. Yeah,
and then he quit in '94, I think.
Yeah, issue 94. Yeah, he's just like, I'm out of here. You guys are a bunch of nerds.
Right.
I don't want to hang out in a school. Fuck this. I'm going back to Japan. And but he's like a fire guy.
Right.
Sometimes a bad guy too, though, Michael. Right? The Sunfire.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think he was like an Iron Man villain, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, they show him fighting Iron Man here at the bottom. So yeah.
Yep.
And finally, the last person I believe in this book, Michael, Sunspot, Roberto DaCosta of the New Mutants. I always liked him. He can absorb solar energy, and he turns like all black with little Kirby crackle around him.
Very cool powers, yes.
And he gets like super strong, but he's not like Colossus strong, but he's strong now, you know?
Right,
so,
yep. Yeah. Very cool.
So there it is, the official handbook of the Marvel Universe. Appendix, Other Dimensions. Look, they add in some other dimensional people here at the end. How about that?
Pretty interesting.
Huh.
So yeah, this is again. I looked at this 1,000 times when I was a kid.
Yeah, same here. When I was a kid, I ate this stuff up. I loved it. So, yeah, this is great. This is a 9 out of 10, Michael. This is.
Yeah, I agree. 9 out of 10. I mean, the only thing that could improve it is again get the artist to ink their own work.
No, you're asking for a lot.
You know? Come on.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's really all you could do to improve this.
Because really, these artists had to be. How much do you think they got paid to do a thing in
but that's
Marvel
beside
Universe?
The point. I mean, if they can do the pencils, they could do the inks.
They probably thought of this as like the last thing they wanted to be doing. Like, hey, can you do us a profile in Marvel Handbook?
I'm sure. Yeah, but
busy.
I bet you the sales were high on these. I bet you.
Yeah, but how much money would they get?
Wow. Doesn't matter. They still could. That's beside the point, though. I'm just saying it would have made the book better.
Oh yeah, of course, but yeah, never gonna happen. So yeah, Marvel official handbook, Marvel Universe. Everyone should go check it out. Again, 2 volumes. This was the volume 2, but it's all good stuff. So
yeah, really good stuff. And like I said, I've got not only this edition, not only the original edition, but I've also got the trade paperback reprints of this edition. That's on Baxter paper, and some of the art is updated, just for the record.
Wow.
Yep. So you got to keep all 3 versions. See?
I guess. Yeah.
Yep. You do. Anyway.
In case things change. Because I guess when Grunwald did this idea for this project, some of the creators got kind of mad. They're
really?
Like, you're stifling our creativity. That we can't just do whatever we want with these characters. That we have to follow this. And but Grunwald said that's not true because this is just their stories up to this point. You can take it anywhere you want to go from here. But up till now, this is their deal.
Right.
So, whatever. All right, so there you go. Next week, Michael, I'm going to go. I'm always having trouble picking these books, what book to go with next. But I had a few contenders this week. But I think we're going to go with something I'm guessing most people have never heard of.
Okay.
From 1975, Marvel, Skull the Slayer.
Oh, is this a Barbarian book?
No. It's close to it, but not really.
Okay.
We'll go issue... I hate picking issue 1s, but let's go issue 1.
Sure.
Because it'll make a nice thumbnail for the cover. Plus, the artist is a fellow named Steve Gann. G-A-N. We've never talked about him, so we can talk about him. And because later on, like, he doesn't draw... I think there's only, like, maybe 8 issues in the run. And, like, Sal Buscema draws some of the later ones, and we've talked about him enough. So let's...
Right. Sure. I'm just looking it up right now.
1.
Cool. All right. Sounds fun. Looking forward to it.
This character's backstory is kind of fucked up, so we'll look forward to that next week.
All right. Well, there you go. Another episode of Flea Market Fantasy. Every week we review a new or a different, Bronze Age comic. 1 week I pick, 1 week Mike Dell picks. Every episode is available at www.comicbooksyndicate.com, as well as Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. So there you go. Tune in to every episode, and until next Tuesday, disperse!